Welcome to the College Q&A with Saginaw Valley State University and yours truly, Jody Maloney. I'm so excited to have you here, and we are going to learn a ton about what SVSU has to offer for seniors this year for the 2021 fall semester. So I'm just going to hand it over to Travis Slooter. He is the admissions rep for our area, and he's going to share all the great things about SVSU with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jody. I love your energy. That's what we're looking for every day. So I appreciate it. And hi, thank you for watching this. I appreciate you taking the time to be able to take it out of your day to be able to learn about SVSU. So as you said, my name is Travis. I am the the admissions rep for Saginaw Valley State University for the West Side. I like to start off my presentations by kind of giving you an idea of what our campus looks like. So this overhead view kind of gives a good glimpse of the majority of our campus. So the white looking roofs over to the left, those buildings are our athletics. We're huge about athletics at SVSU. So inside we have an indoor track, we have a swimming pool, we have a couple weight rooms, basketball courts, you name it. We have it on in most of our buildings inside of there. Just to the left of that, across the street out of frame, is our football stadium. We are NCAA Division II for a lot of our athletics. We're also Great Lakes Conference as well, or GLAAC to be technical. So talking a little bit more about our campus a little bit. So towards the middle, you can see a lot of our administrative buildings and our academic buildings. And then over to kind of like center screen and a little bit left of campus, you can see a lot of our identical looking buildings. Maybe you can see my mouse up there. Up there is a lot of our student housing, which I'll be showing you in a little bit closer view up later. But the important part of this is just kind of give you a glimpse of our campus, along with showing how much green space we have on our campus. We're not surrounded by a big city or anything like that. We know it's a very wonderful, small, safe campus for our students with plenty of space to be able to sprawl out if you want a hammock and study, or if you want to play Frisbee with your friends. We have a lot of hiking trails, a lot of great stuff outside of the classroom if you want to hang out, but also plenty of things to be able to do inside as well. So, and while I'm also talking about what our campus looks like, I also like to talk about where we are, just in case you're unfamiliar with where we're at. So Saginaw Valley State University is located in the Bay of Lake Huron, just at the base of the thumb, where you can see that red square over there that says SVSU. We're about a good 2.5 hours from the west side. So basically, I would say from you guys, we're probably around 2.5 hour drive. And a little bit about the campus location. So we aren't within the Saginaw city, as you saw from that picture. We're about a 10 to 15 minute drive away from it, which is really nice because that way our students don't have to worry about city parking or the traffic associated with it, especially in your later years. If you choose to live off campus in an apartment, you don't have to worry about the commute being really hectic. So it's really nice for that. But also for no matter what year you are, it's a close drive to the city of Saginaw for you to be able to bring friends and family, to be able to go to some wonderful restaurants, do some great shopping, a great place to hang out. And then when it's warmer, looking forward to spring already here, you can go swimming in the big lake. There's plenty of rivers and streams if you want a kayak or canoe, or if you have a friend that has a boat. A lot of great options to be able to do outdoorsy things. But also, once again, a lot of great options in downtown Saginaw. From here, I kind of want to transition into the campus offerings and why students would choose SVSU. So starting with the number 5 reason is we typically have your degree program you're looking for. We have over 100 plus programs for our students to study. Now, this includes graduate programs, so we do have master's programs and doctoral programs. So if you're thinking about a PhD or a master's program, we have quite a few options. We also have a lot of your common majors for our undergraduate degree that you're going to find everywhere else. So engineering, the hard sciences, communications, psychology, education, business, even the programs that are going to lead off to a graduate program later on. So if you want to start here with a pre-med program, so you want to become a doctor or a physical therapist, or if you want to do nursing, we have a wonderful program for that. We also have education, or if you want to go into something legal, we do have a pre-law program as well that we can assist you with. So we most likely have the program that you're looking for to study here on our campus. Now, talking a little bit about our programs, they're just an excellent way to be able to get your education. So as I kind of talked and hinted at a little bit earlier, we're a little bit of a smaller campus. And with that comes some great hands-on learning. And part of that, especially, is for our healthcare program. We have one of the nursing programs in the state of Michigan. Even though we're a smaller school, the nice thing is we're removed from a lot of other universities or any other colleges that could compete for our students to get into the hospital systems for them to get hands-on training. And it also works for just about every other program. So for a lot of business students, they can get a really good internship off campus. If a student is wanting to go into education, that's one of our largest programs as well on our campus. So if they wanted to go do student teaching, they can find it rather easy to be able to go and partner with a district in the local area. But one of the things I also like to focus on in this slide is that we have a 97% job placement rate in 2019. That is nearly 100%. And what that means is almost every student that graduated last year got a job in the field that they were getting their degree in, which is absolutely outstanding. So, just kind of review, we probably have the program you're looking for, and you'll likely get a job after graduating from Saginaw Valley State University. Next, once again, I'm going to bring it back to, we're a little bit of a smaller campus. So we're around 8,000 to 9,000 students to compare to any other school that you might be looking at. What this means for you is students can expect to have class sizes of around 20 to 30 students. Now, during your freshman year, you may encounter classes like Intro to English of maybe around 40, but that's going to be maybe during your first semester. After that, you're definitely going to see it go down to that 20 to 30 student range. Now, some of the benefits for that is you're going to get a lot of one-on-one face time with your professor. And so what that means is they get to know you on a first name basis, and you're likely to have them multiple times while you're doing your program for 4 years, which means they can give you a really good letter of recommendation for an internship, for a job, for scholarships, a lot of benefits. And also one of the nice things is that when it comes to the class size, you're not just another face in a 200 student crowd where you're not able to ask questions of the professor. Instead, in these smaller class sizes, you can raise your hand during lecture and you can ask questions if you're lost, if you're confused. You can ask them to repeat themselves on something, or you can just meet the professor before or after class in order to be able to meet with them and get some assistance on some of the classes. So those are just some of the examples of why a smaller class size can be advantageous to the student. Number three, the third reason that students pick us is because we're ranked #1 in the nation for our dorms. The nice thing about, or what really separates us is that we're apartment style. We're not prison cell style. You're not trapped in a teeny tiny little 10 by 10 with a couple of bunk beds and a desk to share between 2 or 4 people. Instead, especially the first year suites, how they're set up is it's 4 separate bedrooms. So you get your own bedroom and then 2 bathrooms. So that means you're sharing a bathroom with maybe one other person. Now, when I went to school, I had to share a bathroom and a shower with 30 other people in a hall. That is a hectic and sometimes dirty and disgusting experience, but this way it stays cleaner longer, and this way you don't have to compete for a shower in the morning. But once again, the convenience is, if you're like me, I like to study in silence or to myself. I do not do well in a larger library setting. Some students will do great with that. That's awesome, but I have trouble focusing in that type of environment. I'm always looking for like my friends or something like that. This way I can be in my room, I can shut my door, I can focus, or if I'm watching Netflix, I can shut the door, and this way I don't have to interfere with my roommates. Also in those, there's a shared living area that has, couches, TV, Wi-Fi, cable, that kind of stuff comes with it. And also in the top right corner, you can kind of see those 2 young ladies in that kitchen area. Those are in the first year suites as well, which means they come with a sink, a oven, a stove, a refrigerator, all that kind of stuff. So let's say that you're staying late at night and you get hungry and you don't feel like going to the mess hall. That's totally fine. You can go and you can have some food there. Or if you're having friends over and you just want to, make something, you can do that too. So a lot of great options for our campus housing. And like I said, I want to show you up close what our campus housing looked like. So this is a closer view of it. Very modern looking, very nice, very clean looking. Just it's not that drab, cement and window look to it. These are very nice buildings for you to stay in. Now, I did spend the first couple of slides talking about how we have that small classroom experience, but I want to take a moment to be able to emphasize how we have a bigger school spirit or outside the classroom experience. So whether you're a student athlete and you want to participate in some of our athletics, or if you just want to go to the games with some friends, that's totally awesome. We have a lot of school spirit on campus in a non-COVID year when we can participate in sports. So but if you want to participate in those, we totally encourage it. Once again, we have our own football stadium. We have, a pool for swim meets, that kind of stuff. We totally encourage you to do that. But let's say that athletics isn't your style at all and your eyes completely glazed over during that. That's okay. We probably have something outside the classroom for you to get active in because we have over 200 different clubs and student organizations on campus. What that means is, could be a student club for video games, if you're really into video games, or let's say that you're a first generation student and you're looking to be able to hang out with other first generation students to share their experience. You can do that too. Let's say that you just really enjoy cake or pie. We have a cake club and we have a pie club, depending on what your taste is. Or if you like both, you could be a member of both. And you can just go eat dessert and meet some really cool people. As you can see, there's a huge variety in what this is. And let's say that we don't have one that you have a really big passion about, you can create your own and get some people to join you and just meet some really cool people that you're gonna have that lasting experience with beyond your college experience here. We also have study abroad. So if you want to go study in Europe, you want to go study in Asia, or if there's somewhere else specific, we can go ahead and help you get connected with that. Volunteering opportunities, internship opportunities. There's a lot of things to do outside of the classroom. In fact, we have a lot of organized events on campus. In fact, last year, we had a big foam party for dance. So we had a couple of DJs come to the shared living area in a lawn, and they played music, and in the evening with a lot of lights and foam all over the place. It was a lot of fun, but just a lot of cool events for our students to be able to participate in, along with, like, once again, I'm an outdoorsy guy, so there's a lot of stuff to do outside of the campus itself. So moving on to number 2, support. So I like to include this one because I like to make sure students understand what some of the things that students are paying for. So you pay for tuition, and a lot of students will think that just means paying for your classes. That's not the case. Your tuition dollars also pay for you to get tutoring. Now, it's important for you to take advantage of that. There's no additional charge for parking, for parking or for tutoring on our campus. So these are resources for you to do, for you to utilize. So let's say that you're like me and you suck at doing citations for your paper. That's totally fine. You can go down to our writing lab and they can look at it and they can help you out. They can see where they can edit your paper and give you suggestions. This way that you can get one-on-one learning opportunities to be able to improve your writing. We also have science labs. We have math labs. Basically, if there's a class that you're struggling with, we're going to have a resource for you to be able to have assistance with to do better. But let's say that you do fine academically, but you have a different learning condition. So let's say that you have difficulty focusing, you have ADD or ADHD. We can help you with a professional note taker that can go ahead and take notes for you. Or let's say that you have a lot of test anxiety. We understand. You can go ahead and take your test inside of our accommodations office, and they can give you additional time for you to be able to thoroughly look through all the questions and answer them appropriately without worrying about time. So once again, there's no additional charge for that. There you can go ahead and use those resources as you need them. And then straight up, the number one reason that students choose to come to SVSU is we have the lowest tuition of any four-year school in the state of Michigan. So once again, I just kind of review. So we have a lot of hands-on experience. We have the number 1 dorms. We have small class size, and we probably have your program. So we have one heck of a value for you. In fact, putting some numbers on the screen for when you're comparing to other four-year schools you might be looking at, we're only $10,000 a year. Most other schools start around $13,000. Now, what that means is that's $3,000 saved. Multiply that over 4 years, that's $12,000 saved during 4 years of education. I can imagine a lot of things I'd rather spend $12,000 on rather than just the same exact degree. I mean, whether it be a nice used car, going to study abroad in France, something like that. There's a lot of things that you can put that money towards instead of having to pay it back in loans or something like that later on. And just to kind of give you an idea of the whole entire picture, this does not include any type of financial aid. This is just the bill that you would get that your financial aid would help cover. So we're looking at around $10,000 for tuition. If you were to live on campus and you were to get a meal plan, which I encourage all of my students on the west side, because driving 2 hours to and from campus is a little unrealistic. So if you were to get those, so room and board means a place to stay and a place to eat. So that's $10,000. And then we include an estimate. This doesn't exactly mean that you're going to have this $1,059. It could be more, it could be less, depending on what kind of supplies you want during your first year. But this includes the average cost of textbooks, notebooks, pens, pencils, maybe a calculator, a laptop, that kind of stuff. But all that being considered, $22,000 is your very first year, what the bill is. Now, it sounds like a lot, and it certainly isn't a small number, but I want to also emphasize that your first year is your most expensive. Typically, after your first year, you make friends to be able to go and live off campus with, so you don't have as much upfront costs in the housing. By then, you've learned what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, and so that way you don't have to worry about campus dining, and you can make some of your own food as well. Not saying that you can't have a meal plan when you live off campus, a lot of students still do that, but just a way to be able to cut some costs. So kind of talking about, like, if this is of interest to you, like if this sounds great to you, now's the time for seniors to begin applying. And juniors, I want you to pay attention, because fall of your senior year is when you want to begin your applications for college. It is the time to do it now. Don't wait until the winter. Don't wait until later on, because right now is the best opportunity to be able to receive scholarships, to be able to get the best kind of response from our office in a timely manner for you. But now's the time to apply. Now, I will be giving Ms. Maloney a series of links that I would love to be able to share with you that will include a free application code. Typically, it's $30 to apply. I don't want anybody who watches this to have to pay. It'll be absolutely free for you to apply. And the application only takes about 10 minutes. It's very quick, very easy. The other steps to apply. So we have gone test optional, because this year seniors, you weren't able to take the SAT likely last spring. So it's not fair for us to require that for you. So we've gone completely test optional for fall 21. Now, what that means for you is that if you do take the SAT, that's good. It could give you additional scholarship opportunity. It could help you get in if you have a lower GPA, but we are strictly going off of GPA on the initial look at your admission here. So all you need to do is ask Ms. Maloney or your counselor to be able to send in your transcript to us, and then we're more than happy to make a decision within less than a week to let you know whether you've been admitted, or if we need some additional things from you in order to be admitted. And so let's say for your seniors, I also like to talk at this moment. So I gave you that broad number, that $22,000 number, to be able to what that cost is, but I don't want to just say you're on your own. Here's some options in brief for you to help cover that. First, seniors, do the FAFSA. The FAFSA stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. I like to focus on those two words, free and federal, because this is run by the US government. You basically put in some tax information with your parents, and it comes out with a number. That number goes out to all the schools that you're interested in. And with that, we're able to see if we can give you additional aid from the federal government, from the state government, and from us personally, to see if we can give you additional aid to cover that $22,000. That application opens up October 1st every year. So juniors, keep that in mind for when it becomes time for in your senior year to begin that application. The sooner you do it, the sooner you can get a award letter from all the schools you're interested in. And for you seniors, it's time to begin doing that right now. And if you have questions, the Saginaw Valley State University Financial Aid Office is more than happy to help you, especially during your first year, getting that done, because there are some confusing questions on where do I get certain information to input that in, and we're more than happy to help you with that. And then for you seniors, there's obviously when you apply here, you're automatically considered for scholarships based on your GPA. So especially if you have really high GPA, it's likely you're going to be able to receive a merit-based scholarship. There's that federal money, that state money, and then the additional money that we can give you, but there still might be a gap. That money is going to be filled with doing private scholarships. So SVSU, we have our own private scholarships from alumni who donated money to us that want to help grow the amount of students that are attending here, that can attend here and afford to come here. Those include a separate application. We're more than happy, once again, our office, to help you with that. But also looking at scholarships at global databases. Fastweb.com is a great option. It's a global database for scholarships outside of any university that can be used at most universities. So we're talking like the Coca-Cola scholarship or the Burger King scholarship. Those are great options to be able to help reduce that last bit of money that you have to cover. And enough about talking about money. If this sounds great for you, I am offering one-on-one appointments to students virtually. So, let's say that this sounds exciting to you, and I'm glad. It doesn't matter what grade you are, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, I'm more than happy to have this discussion for you. Let's say you're a freshman and you don't understand anything about college. That's cool. I was a first-generation student. I'm more than happy to tell you about everything that I've learned along this whole entire path. But let's say you're also senior and then you want to be able to talk to me. You can make an appointment with me. That will be in a link that I'm sharing with Miss Maloney. And then you can also have your parents join too. I'm more than happy to answer any of their questions as well. But if this sounds great to you, I do encourage you to visit campus. I will be including links to be able to tour it virtually, so that way you can kind of see if this is a place that you want to drive 2 hours to go check out. I do encourage it. When you come to visit our campus, we do give you a full campus tour with a tour guide that is a current student. So not only do you get to tour the buildings, the academic buildings, administrative buildings, the campus housing, you get to check out the campus dining, all that, but also you can ask questions to a current SVSU student and ask them about their experience. We encourage that. Of course, if any students have any questions in the meantime, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help you. And with that being said, I'd like to open it up to any questions that you have, Ms. Maloney.
I have quite a few questions, but you answered so many of them. Thank you so much, Travis. This is great information. So one of the things that you mentioned just pretty recently was about visiting campus. So one of the questions that I had about that was, when does SVSU expect to be able to give in-person tours? Do you have an idea on that?
As of July of this year, we already started those. So we are offering them Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday in the mornings and in the afternoons, and on Saturday afternoons. We are following all CDC guidelines. We are offering, sanitizer for hands. Each family will have their own tour guide. You're not part of a large group. You go and so it's typically the student, maybe their parents, and if they have like young siblings, they can come along. We do ask that students don't bring like friends or anything like that, just to be able to, keep us socially distanced. If they want to come too, that's totally fine. If you want your friends to come, have them sign up under their own, so that way they can have their own tour guide, and you guys can, stay socially distanced and go through all the buildings together, all that fun stuff. But we are doing in-person tours right now.
That's so exciting. Another thing that you mentioned was that, it's a 10 to 15 minute drive and parking is free. So I'm wondering if first year students can bring cars to campus, or is there a wait for them?
No. So if you have a car and you're a freshman, you can park on campus, no problem. There's no additional charge for parking on campus. And something that kind of goes along this question line is freshmen aren't required to live on campus at any, no student is required to live on campus. But once again, being that we're 2 hours away, we do encourage it.
Makes a lot of sense to live on campus if you're able to. Well, that answered another question I have, which was what was the campus living requirement? So that's also really helpful. The last question I have, Travis, is you had mentioned the April 1st financial aid information. Is there an optimal time for students to apply, or can they apply anytime until April 1st, or is there a set deadline?
Good question. So a lot of scholarships will have deadlines, whether that be from SVSU all the way through to there. Now, if students have really stellar GPA, they could be potentially for what's called our President Scholarship, which is a full tuition scholarship. They need to apply by the end of November. So so there is deadlines on certain scholarships. And so I do recommend students reaching out to me if they're interested, and I do recommend them applying to the university immediately. I want to be clear to anybody that's watching right now, you can apply to as many schools as you want to. There's no limit on the amount of schools that you can apply to. You can be admitted to as many schools as well. And then it's up to you to be able to visit them and choose which one can offer you perhaps the most money or feels like the most home to you. Whatever it is you're looking for in that experience. So I encourage students to apply soon. And then as soon as you're admitted, start whittling down that decision. I encourage students to probably have their college decision. You're probably gonna get your award letter sometime in late December, early January. So perhaps by mid-February having that decision, because that's gonna be also when we're gonna be having some national scholarships closing down those deadlines. But SVSU will typically be really good about April 1st being our deadline. But I do encourage students to make that decision sooner than waiting till like March, mid-March to make that decision and doing those applications soon, because a lot of them will include an essay. And I want to make sure students don't feel the pressure of, just quick writing something and putting out. Doing a quality essay and putting the time into it will really help.
Thank you so much for answering that question. So November 30th is ideal, especially for those students with super, super grades, but you're
Yes.
flexible really until April 1st.
Right.
I think the last question I had was, you mentioned that there's a waiver or a code that students can use to apply for free. Is there an expiration date on that, or they just need to reach out to get the code?
No, in fact, I'll give it right now. There's no expiration date. This is the same one it was last year. It doesn't change. So if you're watching this right now, please use the application code HSV as in Victor, Travis. So you should have something that looks like HSV Travis, which stands for High School Visit Travis. It's all one word. Capitalization doesn't matter, but that's there for you to be able to use.
Great. So I will be sure to include that information to those who have registered in advance and to let your high schools know as well.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much for all of this information, Travis. I really, really appreciate it. And for those of you watching at home, you can reach out to Travis. And if you need to reach out to me, my email is jodym@leadington.org. I'll help you connect with Travis too.